Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the MerlinCast. It's the Merlin the Mighty podcast where I discuss all kinds of geeky pop culture things, and I have a familiar guest with me tonight,
Dan.
Dan, who was once, I
Hello,
believe,
hello, hello.
Troll was going to be his name. It was taken by another person, Merlin, and
Yeah, in the Merlin world.
the Merlin world. Not as quite as cool as Cool World. Maybe as cool as Spice World. I don't know if I'll be that ambitious yet.
I've seen both in theaters.
Really?
Cool World and Spice World.
No way.
Yeah.
Have you seen Wayne's World in theaters?
The first one, yeah.
Nice.
Wow, we're really getting into it already.
Well, we are, and actually,
Nitty-gritty.
it's already another topic. I'm going to save if I remember it. But okay, this one is semi-organized. I feel like Dan, lately you've come on, and I've just whenever you've come on, I just kind of come up with ideas on the fly here, and we see where it goes. And usually we do okay.
Yeah, oh, I think so, yeah.
But I'm going to actually kind of lead it off because I haven't done this for the channel yet. I saw Birds of Prey, so I wanted to give a quick little review and maybe just get your thoughts on it based on your expectations of previous movies, and then you'll tell me about Sonic, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I haven't seen Sonic. He hasn't seen Birds of Prey, so it's been an interesting exchange. Well, I saw Birds of Prey, and I think you liked Suicide Squad more than I did.
I liked Suicide Squad more than most people like Suicide Squad. And I didn't, love this movie, but I gave it, a solid B minus, which...
I thought it was more than that. Oh.
Or maybe it was a B. I don't know. But I've seen it 3 times. I saw it twice in theaters.
Huh.
I generally enjoy Suicide Squad. I think it's got problems.
Definitely.
But I think most people can agree that 2 of the bright spots were Will Smith as Deadshot and Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn.
Which I think I agree with you.
I think most people do.
And that probably shows why she got her own movie.
Right.
And it's funny. I didn't like. I think I get kind of up in the hype and the mob mentality sometimes of you go to the movie, you're an angry comic book fan, you see the DC movie, and oh man, I hate it. And that's one thing after reviewing movies critically and just like we did on the podcast for years and years, is you really put things in perspective. Is Suicide Squad not that great? Maybe, but compared to a lot of things I've seen, it's not really that bad.
Right.
So, I mean, looking back on it retroactively, Suicide Squad had some big editing issues, but it was still kind of fun to watch.
I think it's very fun to watch, despite its many plot holes, inconsistencies, multiple villains,
tonal shifts and stuff.
etc. Tonal shifts.
But I guess the thing that honestly, it's taken me a while to really think of what I want to say about Birds of Prey, and I think that what I've been telling people is if they liked Suicide Squad, they'll definitely like this movie.
Okay.
Because I think that when the self-referential humor, kind of like Deadpool, is more what they're going for, kind of making fun of themselves and poking fun of some of the comic book tropes and comic book movie tropes. That best element of Suicide Squad that was most fun is the whole movie.
Okay.
So it's not, and I saw it with my girlfriend, and that was kind of one of the minor comments we made, was we kind of almost wished that it was a little more serious because it kind of took away from some potential stakes, which was actually my only real issue with the first Deadpool movie, was
no stakes.
If the whole thing's silly and he knows what's going on, and my one issue with Deadpool is then you can't. It's hard to have a story sometimes. That's why I think Deadpool's kind of limited, even though those movies were good. Harley,
I'd say better than good.
They were very good. Yes. I think the first Deadpool was quite good, but how many times could you do that? I don't know.
Right.
Personally, but Harley Quinn, I think you said it perfectly right. I think between this and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, she's shown that she's a very dynamic actress. She has some talent, and
you didn't see the Tanya Harding movie that she got nominated.
No,
she was. I mean, she was great in that.
I heard a lot of people like
Tanya,
that one.
She was in Bombshell this year.
Yeah, I missed a couple, but I know she's
really got some range.
She does,
for sure. That I don't think we knew for a while.
No, I thought obviously she was pretty, but I didn't know she had the talent. And with Harley Quinn, I'm like, wow, she really gets into this character and becomes this person. And as a comic book fan, I appreciated how it definitely pays attention to the source material, and it does feel like Harley Quinn.
Well, it's great.
It is, and Harley Quinn's always been kind of interesting to me because she is not really supposed to be a hero. She's, a kind of a minor villain, but she's, even from her creation, she was always seen as kind of tragic, sympathetic. Batman, he was even always kind of looked at her as with some sympathy. She's not really that evil. And so kind of playing with her as a hero was interesting. And I think that her in this role, she has a lot of fun with it. You could nitpick about some things from the comics not being right. There is one particular character of the Birds of Prey, and they did change the title, which I thought was a smart marketing move. Actually, they did a classic lived out repeat.
They changed it at the beginning.
That was one thing that bugged me. Is like everyone said, "Oh yeah, this is the Harley Quinn movie, Birds of Prey," and then later on I see, it is brain marketing. When I was Harley Quinn, I was like that. And if you watch the movie, spoilers. Not spoilers, but the Birds of Prey, they are an element of it, but it's the Harley Quinn show. It's her.
I would imagine.
So I mean, it was a weird marketing choice, but they do have some.
I don't know what they were thinking with that.
They do have some of those other characters. Most of them I thought were pretty cool. I liked Black Canary. I liked Huntress. Mary Elizabeth Winstead plays her.
Love her.
She's great. The character of Cassandra Cain, who's kind of comic relief. They kind of playing with the sort of the kid in Deadpool 2. It's along those lines.
Okay.
That's not the character all in the comics, but she's very similar to the Huntress character, so they couldn't really do that. So I forgive that. Some of the hardcore comic book fans might not like that. The only other thing I could say that was a real positive, which I really liked, was the effects, like the stunt, the stunt choreography.
Yeah.
Like the actual fighting in this movie is really impressive, and there were a lot of times where I was like, "Is Margot Robbie doing her own stunts?" And I don't know if she was, because I saw on the credits there were like so many stunt people, but the stunt choreography was really good for the movie too. So I'm probably going to give it like a B+. I really, I did not have the highest expectations.
One of the great recent DC entries.
Because it knows what it is. It's a fun comic book movie, and there is a good message there about female empowerment, which is done in a way that's not overbearing.
Okay.
And it's about like getting over abusive relationships, the Joker.
Sure.
And they make... My girlfriend actually commented that the movie was kind of cute, which is weird to say, but that's a good way to say it. It's sort of a very, even though it's about kind of a potentially psychotic, crazy woman, she's Harley Quinn. She's kind of cute, and it's endearing and charming and wholesome. It's sort of a weird, it's like Deadpool, but a little more wholesome, with the exception of some gritty things, but as much as it can be. So
I have two questions for you, which may sort of blend into what you were just talking about.
All right.
Because other than the confusing original title of the movie,
I didn't like that.
I think the box office wasn't lit up from this movie also because of the R rating. Do you think this movie needed to be R rated story wise? Could they have toned it down and gotten a PG-13 rating and gotten the teenage girls that would want to see this movie allowed to be able to see this movie?
Okay.
Because I think that is a reason that this did not do as well at the box office as they were hoping.
That is an interesting question. And I think that they are very clearly... DC is in experiment mode. We're going to try different things. Yeah. We are not going to be Marvel. We're just throwing... And it's weirdly working for them lately. I think very clearly, and after watching this movie, you might agree, they were very much kind of trying to emulate the Deadpool. Let's go for our rating. Let's be gritty. Let's be raunchy. Because they wanted to be true to what people want from Harley Quinn and Joker-related stuff, which is more violence, which you don't necessarily have to do with those characters, but got to be dark and gritty. I think they wanted to go that route and still try to bring people in, but here's the funny thing.
Okay.
We saw this on Valentine's Day, on a Friday. Theater was packed with teenagers, a lot of teenage girls, and a lot of parents with kids. So I don't know what happened there, because it didn't do well its opening weekend, but when I went, it for like a second week, it was doing pretty well.
Maybe strong word of mouth.
That's all I can think of, because I mean the reviews are positive. The
reviews are pretty positive.
So I don't know. I think that might have been the draw, but with the weekend I saw it, it didn't seem like...
That's very interesting.
Didn't seem, and people didn't care. I don't know.
Well, and I think, you mentioned the gritty violence and stuff. I mean, look, we know how flawed the MPAA rating system is, but they don't care about violence.
There's a guy that explodes.
The Dark Knight stuff, they don't care about violence. They care about language and sex. So this is obviously There's a lot of language in this. I mean, do you think that needed to be there? Because I feel like even if a guy explodes, you could probably still get away with PG-13.
It wasn't even blood. It was like a colorful explosion, like Kingsman style. Kind of. Like, all right.
Well, Kingsman was certainly rated R for its violence. But
some of it was kind of cartoony, though.
Well, okay. So that actually leads into my second question.
Okay.
Have you seen yet the DC animated Harley Quinn show?
I watched. That
is quite R-rated, and I think irritatingly so.
This might surprise some people because I feel like this. Man, I got all kinds of stacked different conversations. A lot of
people. This is what happens when I come on to the MerlinCast.
I'm trying to keep them all together.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of people at work are like, you got to watch this show, and I'm like, stop.
Too many.
Stop recommending. That was one topic I want to talk about.
Okay.
Overwhelmed. First world problem. I know. I watched one episode of the Harley Quinn show. Well, not even a whole episode, because everyone was like, "Oh man, it's so brutal. It's so like," and I was like, I don't really want that from my cartoon comic book show, and I don't need them to all be gritty. They don't have to all be small, and I think it's kind of like How to Train Your Dragon when the cartoon was on. This show blew up before the movie came out, and everyone's talking about it. There might be less of a draw with a Harley Quinn movie when you already have this cartoon that's like darker and more bloody than the movie is.
Yeah,
the movie is nothing like that.
Okay,
and I thought it was a bit much. Honestly,
Yeah.
So you liked it, didn't you?
I did like it, but I definitely thought that it was trying way too hard to be extreme and let's just make her say the F word every fifth word. It seems
impact.
Very forced. And yes, it loses impact. I think you can have an adult animated series about Harley Quinn, that's fine.
All right.
But it doesn't need to be
this is the thing, man.
That over the top.
And I think you'll agree with me. There's nothing wrong with over the top, but I think that's just a really cheap draw because we know there's mature storytelling and then there's adult storytelling, which is why best example DC Animated Universe, Batman the Animated Series, kids show.
Yes.
No violence, no cursing.
That was gritty though.
That was
certainly gritty,
more adult than probably the Harley Quinn show.
Yeah,
in terms of themes.
The Harley Quinn show. Yes, compare the two, and the Harley Quinn show is almost more like
it's juvenile.
Yeah, like the difference of like potty humor,
like we can
versus
put this in
like
here.
Mature storytelling.
Like there's a difference.
Yes,
and that kind of bugs me.
Yes, Batman Animated Series is a great counterexample.
I mean, it's kind of the pinnacle for comic book. I mean, for cartoons for adults beyond comedy.
I would think so, yes.
It's kind of is the example.
Right, yeah.
So it's just odd they have to resort to that now. So I think that might have suffered the box office with that being out and people liking it, but I couldn't get through an episode because it annoyed me.
Yeah, and I found, I mean, I'm not the biggest Kaylee Cuoco fan out there, but I found her voice to be very grating, whereas Margot Robbie... I don't know. I mean, I think she has a different interpretation of the character. Whereas Kaylee Cuoco's is more, I'm going to scream all my lines at you.
Yeah, she screams more. And actually, Robbie, I think is emulating, I forget, I should know, the actress that voiced her in the animated series is going more for that Lucille Ball imitation, which is what the voice actress was going for. And I think it's more sweet. It's more like dopey.
Well, and I think it's a better juxtaposition of the character as a whole.
Yes.
As opposed to, screaming harpy shrew, that I think Kaylee Cuoco it sort of goes in that direction with it.
I mean, Harley Quinn would sometimes lose it and get really angry. That is part of the character, but it shouldn't be like the whole deal.
Right.
Yeah. She flies off the handle, kind of like the Joker.
Well, that makes sense.
A little less menacing, but,
all right. Well, do you want to talk about all the shows you're supposed to watch, or do you want me to talk about Sonic?
All right. This is going to show how organized I am. All right. Wow, I'm going to bring up my word pad because I don't want to lose this. There's some gold. All right. There's the.
Now you're keeping it.
I'm gonna
list here.
Quotable. I'm gonna say that. Wow. Okay. If I could spell, so we'll just say I'm just gonna not have in any particular order shows, and that'll remind us. Okay,
sounds great.
So, yes, those are my thoughts on Birds of Prey. I might see Sonic soon. How do you feel about Sonic? Tell me, because all right, before you say anything,
Yeah.
here's my, unless you were going to ask me my thoughts, feelings, expectations.
Sure.
Sonic.
Sonic.
This is an alternate.
That's the alternate universe.
There's already.
He's a groundhog. Sonic the groundhog instead of hedgehog.
I feel like Simpsons probably did like a parody of that. Oh man, I'm playing Sonic.
Yeah, really.
Wow. Don't steal our ideas, or please just give us money if you do.
Yeah, that's fine.
Just mini background about me. Liked Sonic as a kid. Sega Genesis games classic. Liked the cartoon as a kid. The Sonic fan base is one I'm not hardcore into, but I know they are some of the most rabid. So the fact that they could get this done does not surprise me, because they will not let anything slide. They're a intense fan base, oddly, but for whatever reason, people are passionate. I think there are very few good video game movies for whatever reason, and my feelings about this one going in is I thought that it was really cool. They went back and redesigned everything. That showed that somebody on the production cared and listened, but that didn't necessarily guarantee to me that the plot would be any good. So that's why I'm like, it's cool, but
okay. Well, let's talk about that before I talk about the movie itself, then.
Okay.
If you want to.
Sure.
Because I thought it was extremely interesting how that whole thing played out.
Wasn't it cool?
It was very cool. And look, I saw the original trailer in front of, I want to say Pikachu.
Ooh.
And I don't know who thought that was a good rendering of Sonic in the first place.
Yeah.
It was creepy. It was not something that, look, Sonic in the video game and in the cartoon show, and the plush toys of Sonic, and he's a cute little character.
He's got big eyes.
He can do some damage, but he is a cute character.
Sonic is, a cute character to look at.
And they made him look like a rabid,
dirty, mangy.
dirty, weird. Yes, it was.
He didn't look like Sonic.
I get that they wanted it to be more like a realistic hedgehog, but that's not what the video game character is.
Have you ever seen him?
So,
he doesn't look like a hedgehog at all.
I don't know who thought to release that movie the way it was. I said the same thing in my Cats review. The CGI in the movie Cats was ghastly. I don't know who thought, who saw that and thought, oh yeah, this is like really gonna light up the box office. I mean, it looked horrible. Even after they redid it, they redid Cats after the second week, right?
They did redo it.
Yeah, they did a rush job on it, which is and even on the red carpet, the director Tom Hooper, who did Les Mis and The King's Speech, I mean, professional director here. He even said on the red carpet at the premiere, like, oh yeah, I just finished editing this movie like 8 hours ago.
Wow.
And it actually wasn't finished
before,
so they had to send out a new version of it. But
that's bad.
But I don't know who at these studios are looking at these designs and thinking, yes, this is a good idea. So I think it was very interesting to see everything played out, how the fan base really rose up and said, this is not going to happen, not on my watch. And, look,
interesting.
The reason that so many movies that are made today are sequels and reboots and whatever is because there's already a built-in fan base.
Marvel. Yeah.
If the entire fan base is telling you no,
we're not going to see this movie.
No one's going to see it, because if the fans aren't going to come out and see it, nobody's going to come.
Because
see it.
People like, you should check out the Sonic movie. No, don't. It's going to be terrible. Oh, okay, right. I don't know anything. I want anyway. Waste my money.
I mean, bad word of mouth, I think we can all agree, is what killed the female Ghostbusters reboot. It was dead before it was released.
People did not like that trailer a lot.
No, they didn't, and that would have happened here had they not gone back and done something. So, and then after the fact, we saw a lot of memes on Facebook and stuff and elsewhere that said, things like, hey, look, the studio paid $30 million or whatever to restore this. We got to go see this movie to prove that, our words mean something, whatever.
And
I think they're right. I mean, the box office would tell you that. It had like an almost $70 million opening. It was a 4-day weekend because of President's Day, but still, I mean, it made almost $70 million compared to Harley Quinn's 33 over a 3-day weekend when they were expecting 40 to 50. Which is why I asked you about the rating, because I think it would have done better with a PG-13 rating, Harley Quinn. But
Probably.
but yeah, I thought it was a very interesting thing. I don't think it's something we're going to see all the time work. But like you said, the Sonic fan base is extremely
Rabid.
Extremely rabid.
I would say.
And so it makes sense. But yeah, the design was horrible. I don't know who thought that was a good idea.
It wasn't very good. No.
But so let's talk about the movie itself.
Sure.
I took my nephews to this on Monday. I realized it was President's Day. I was like, oh, they're probably off school. I know they want to see this. They're 7 and 14.
Cool.
And I wanted to see it.
Okay.
Sonic, look, I never did the violent video games.
Mm-hmm.
My video games when I was a kid, other than like Tetris and stuff, like puzzle games or whatever, was Mario and Sonic. The two classic basics. Even go back to Atari, I never played like fighting games. I played, Pitfall and games that are more puzzle oriented or whatever.
Mario and Sonic are kind of violent. I mean, they do in a way.
In a way, but I mean, as opposed to like Double Dragon or Mortal Kombat that kind of thing. I gravitated more towards Mario and Sonic.
Sonic's cool.
The whole group, Dr. Mario and the Mr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine and all of that stuff.
Classic.
So I was very excited for this movie. Mm-hmm. More excited still when I found out Jim Carrey was going to be Dr. Robotnik.
Mm-hmm.
Huge Jim Carrey fan, as you know.
Of course.
And I like James Marsden as well. So when I found out he was going to be like the adult in the live action adult in the world,
stand-in protagonist guy.
Yeah. And you saw Pikachu, right?
You know what? I did not see it yet.
Okay.
Although thinking that they were going to release that movie with the original design after what they could do from the visuals in that movie.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they thought they could get away with that.
I know. It's very, very odd.
Which I heard Pikachu was good, by the way.
Pikachu was not that good.
What?
It was okay.
Oh, you're like the first person I met that said that.
I gave it a C. I did not like it.
What? Wow. We'll talk about that later.
Yeah, basically the storyline was okay, but it was...
What was Ryan Reynolds?
Ryan Reynolds' shtick. It was just Deadpool as a PG... It was PG Deadpool.
Was Pikachu cute?
Well, I mean, that goes without saying, but I can look at Pikachu and know that. You have one right up there.
Oh, yeah, I do.
On the mantle. But, no, look, I thought this was a much better movie than Pikachu.
Oh, shit.
I really enjoyed pretty much all of it. I mean, it's not, like, amazing. The last third has gaping plot holes.
That's fine.
And things in the real world didn't really make sense.
It's all right.
And I'm not going to give spoilers about it, but the last third kind of turned me off. But I thought everybody had a great time. Jim Carrey was at his crazy best. I like Jim Carrey the most when he is zany and Ace Ventura and even the Truman Show to an extent.
A little bit
when he kind of figures out that he's on a TV show. Goes a little nutty, but like Me, Myself, and Irene, and
that was another draw though. Was Jim Carrey? A lot of people were excited to see him as Robotnik.
Well,
which surprised me.
We haven't seen him really in a while, but if you think about it, listen, the generation that grew up with the original Sonic games when they first came out, they grew up with Ace Ventura, In Living Color, The Mask, Dumb and Dumber,
Batman Forever.
Batman Forever. Huge Jim Carrey fans.
That was his time,
so it makes sense.
Yeah.
And so I thought that was perfect casting. Mm-hmm. Marsden was very good as the protagonist. He was having a lot of fun with the role.
Cool.
The plot was actually
is he an alien?
Pretty good. Of sorts. I mean, the people in the Green Hills town call him.
Oh, Green Hills, nice.
Of course,
nice.
The people of Green Hills think he's an alien. I suppose yes, but I will full disclosure. I missed like the first 2 minutes where they set up everything because I knew we were running a little late, so I sent my nephews in while I waited for the popcorn. So maybe it's established a little more than I think.
Okay.
But yeah, they were calling him an alien. Whether he is, I don't know. But
how are
they incorporated the rings. They incorporated Mushroom Hills. They incorporated some of the tactics that Robotnik would use sort of in the game.
Huh. That's pretty cool.
A little bit, yeah. Like so look, we've seen now. My nephews and I have seen the two Angry Birds movies, Detective Pikachu, Sonic. I think those are the three video game movies we've seen. And so we were sort of talking afterwards about, okay, well, what do you like compared to the other ones? They both agreed this was the best movie of all of them, but they sort of were like, yeah, like it incorporated gameplay a lot more than the Angry Birds movie because the Angry Birds game is so simple, and Sonic there was a lot of different ways to go with it, and I thought that was a very valid point.
That's cool.
And I think we could talk all day about the problems with video game movies, and you and I have done that a little bit over the years on Film Fanatics and some other things. But I think what it comes down to is, a video game movie should, if it's good, incorporate as much of that world as they can.
Yeah.
And I think this does a pretty good job of that. I mean, the original Sonic game is fairly basic.
It is.
And yet, a lot of what is on the screen is pretty well taken from that. I mean,
reflected from it.
Even as far as like he lives underground in sort of like a bunker or whatever for the beginning part of the movie, and even sliding down to the bunker, it's like when he falls into a pit in the first game and like has that little slide or whatever. I don't know. I really enjoyed it. There's some really fun nods to X-Men.
What?
Bugs Bunny.
Really?
Yeah. There's and my oldest nephew and I talked about that too because he was like, "Oh yeah, like I really thought it was cool that they did that." And I said, "Yeah, I think that was purposeful as a like nod to these things that the parents would be like, oh my god, that's so cool, that's like when Quicksilver did this."
That's cool.
So I really enjoyed it. I gave it a B.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well,
I thought if the ending made more sense I would have graded it higher, but I had a lot of fun with it.
How would you say the character of Sonic himself was?
I didn't. Okay. You might know better than me about the compare and contrast from the cartoon show.
Okay.
Because I was a little older than that demo, and I've seen a few episodes of the show over the years, but I didn't watch a lot of the cartoon, so how his personality is, I can't really say.
Mondo cool.
Yeah, I mean, he's
90s personified.
He's fun.
Okay.
He's definitely fun.
Is he Steve Urkel?
But no.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Absolutely not. He is a well-rounded character that goes through a lot of emotions.
Huh.
He makes a bucket list.
Really?
Because pretty early on, he realizes he needs to leave Earth and go to the Mushroom Planet because he's now being hunted by Dr. Robotnik. Things aren't working out here on Earth. I need to move on. And so he has this sort of catharsis about like, I've lived on this Earth for a couple years and I have yet to make a friend and I have yet to do this and this. And he goes through a lot of emotions in this movie.
So he goes through a pretty big arc, it sounds like.
Yeah, certainly much more than Pikachu.
Okay.
Okay, there was zero arc there.
Wow, he was just Ryan Reynolds the whole time.
He was just Deadpool.
All right.
PG Deadpool, yeah.
I don't know if it's a spoiler. I mean, I'm guessing that the animals are trapped inside the robots. That's the whole. They incorporate that whole.
Actually,
they don't do that.
That's something they don't incorporate.
Yeah.
They don't. It's he attacks them.
Just robots.
Yeah, it's a lot of drones.
Okay.
A lot of drones, and he has a helper, like an intern, whatever, that he bosses around. But yeah, I mean, no, he does want to capture Sonic.
Okay.
But he doesn't have like an army of animals that he's captured over the years or whatever.
Do they talk about the crystal? Is that the plot point? Because there's the rings, but there's always...
What's the crystal?
It's like the, I'm not that hardcore for Sonic guy. There's the crystal
like
that
at the end of the
robotics
level?
power for like, to get the power. They incorporate that in like later comics and stuff. Okay, you know what? I don't have the internet here. I'm going to look.
I mean, he's got super, super technology. I'm trying to think if they incorporated the crystal at all.
What is it called? The,
Sonic Crystal.
Sonic Crystal. I'm trying to. The gem, the emerald gem.
Yeah, I know. It's like a diamond shape.
Gem.
I know what you mean.
The what is that freaking called?
I'm not sure if they. I don't think they had that.
All right. Well, all right. So I guess
I'm remembering correctly.
All right. Well, then one final question: are there at the end, because these things always have to have stingers at the end? Were there any possible hints about some other characters?
Oh, I can't. Do you want me to tell you?
All right. Well, I can tell by your face that
what's happening at the end
of
the thing.
Okay. Well, look. All right. Obviously, there's one thing I always liked about the one particular cartoon I watched is that in that particular version, they were freedom fighters and there were all kinds of other animal creatures. Mm-hmm. You've got the classics like Tails. You've got, of course, my favorite was Knuckles the Echidna, the cool guy. So don't tell me because
okay.
I'll see.
I won't tell you
Okay, how about this?
Okay.
How about this? This is another way to answer it.
Got it.
Do you think that there are possibilities for sequel material based on the movie?
Absolutely.
Okay, that's all I need to know. All right, so
absolutely
sounds like something worth checking out. You think I'll like it?
Yeah.
All right.
I do. I think you're going to grade it even higher than me because you don't necessarily care about plot holes.
Well, I'm like, it's Sonic the Hedgehog. I'm like, it's kind of like Ninja Turtles. Like, I can't get too hung up about certain
like the minutia of it.
Like you got some things at face value,
Yeah. I totally understand.
But yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll think it's dumb. Like, that's why I like the Godzilla movie. Like, I think you actually liked that more than I thought you would.
King of the Monsters was solid.
I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
Except for was it Formiga? You didn't like her character? I thought she was annoying.
No, I didn't like her character, but also I didn't like how I couldn't tell half the time what monster it was because it was so dark, and they would
not as dark as before.
So close up that you couldn't really tell which monster was fighting who.
Maybe it's a directorial choice, but okay. The Godzilla movies have this problem about keeping everything in smoke and at night. But remember Kong Skull Island, where everything was in the day and it looked great?
Yeah.
Why can't they?
The movie was solid.
Why can't they all be like that?
Kong Skull Island is my favorite of all the monster movies that have come in the last 5-10 years or whatever in this series that they're doing.
It's the best one
for sure.
Which is sad because Godzilla is like arguably
favorite.
The center of
your favorite.
He's the king of the monsters, even more than King Kong.
But King Kong has king in his name, so it's tough. It's tough.
It is tough. Well, hopefully that when they
Elvis is the only true king for me. Everyone knows that.
Wasn't didn't Elvis Costello also call himself the king at one point?
Get out of here.
Someone called him, or is that Bruce Springsteen?
That's Bruce Springsteen.
He's the boss. He's the boss. Okay. No, I'm pretty sure Elvis Costello said he was the king.
I don't know about that.
But all right. Anyway, okay. So we talked about 2 movies. Okay. I'm gonna just briefly complain about shows.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of them.
I don't know how to navigate this.
Okay.
And maybe it's a very simple answer of just do what you want, Joe. But I feel like, and because you on your channel, you review a lot of shows, you try to keep up with it.
Yeah.
But even though you just check out the beginning of one to get an idea, and then you just pick certain ones to follow. But you mostly just do Connors, and I guess Masked Singer right now.
Yeah, in terms of specific reviews on my channel, yeah.
Like, I don't know. Maybe it's because there's all these new shows coming out. There's constant media. We're living in this age where audiences are connected to us. We're getting what we want. It's almost too much to consume at any one time. And you know what?
I wouldn't say almost. It is far and away.
And look,
it exceeds what a person can do. So FX every year has the
movies.
FX does have the movies and the McBeal.
Oh.
But every year they do at the Television Critics Association panel. They, instead of talking about their upcoming shows, they take their time and talk about the polls that they do for the number of shows that are on TV at any given time.
Oh, no.
Right?
What is it?
So, in 2019, in the last 12 months, there were some 500 different scripted shows. And when I say scripted, that is not reality shows, not talk shows, not game shows.
Minus all that.
Minus all of that. Now, it would count like documentaries because they script those. But over 500
scripted, edited,
different new, and I'm not talking about old Andy Griffith episodes.
New produced shows.
New produced shows for either television, cable, streaming, whatever.
All right. I know.
What person can really... when I was a kid, there were 3 channels. Okay? So that's why everybody knew what Gilligan's Island was, even though it hadn't been on for 40 years.
I'd rather go watch Gilligan's Island. Right, okay, this is the thing. All right.
And now it's too much.
All right. I thought it was kind of... I'm glad you said that. I kind of wanted to ask the TV guy. Mm-hmm. I mean, with movies, it's not quite as bad, but it's still bad. But, like, as somebody who likes shows, likes the medium of television, do you think it is possible we have too much media, too concentrated on niche audiences?
Yes, absolutely.
But that's what people want.
I think it's great for Hollywood because every actor that wants a job can find one.
True.
But I mean, here's the thing. The entire reason that I started my weekly TV review show is so that whenever someone says, "Oh, have you seen such and such?" I can actually say, "Yes, I have. I started it. I thought it was this."
It's a little
because I am a TV fan.
You are.
In the last, let's say specifically, probably 4 to 6 years, there have been so many shows that how many times does somebody say to you, "Oh, you got to watch this. You got to see this."
At least a couple times,
always,
a month.
Always. And it's like, how do you navigate it? So, okay, fine. I watched Breaking Bad, and now I'm on Better Call Saul, and that's fine. But, like, think of all the shows that people have said you got to watch. Even in that era. I've never seen Mad Men. I've never seen The Americans. I've never seen Outlander. I've never seen...
All right.
There's so many shows that I've never even seen. Because how can you?
And this is... I don't know. Maybe this is how I look at it. I don't know if that's really fair. Oh, like, I would say, for instance... Okay, I think I'm watching some shows that are older now. What do we watch right now? I'm watching Peaky Blinders.
Okay.
Peaky Blinders is a somewhat current show in the fact that it's still in development.
Right.
There are going to be a few more seasons out. I'm still slowly catching up with it.
Okay.
Taking my time with it, and then I navigate between that and say, actually, that's...
I know you're watching Vampire Diaries.
It's official. It's official.
Classic.
I dropped that. Yes, I've been watching Vampire Diaries. You know what? And even though it's a show I never would have gravitated to, the fact that nobody cares kind of makes me feel fine about watching because I can just be like, I don't know. And that and She-Ra, I guess is the... So those are a couple of shows that I occasionally will watch that I juggle. I want to go back to watch Vikings at some point. But like...
So you know me, I watch literally in a season, I will watch probably about, and this is before the TV review show, so this is before I'm watching everything, but in a typical season, I would have watched about 60 to 80 different full seasons of shows.
Jeez.
And that's only new. I always go back and watch old stuff, too.
You do.
So, I just watched an episode of Mama's Family this morning. I'm going through the Mama's Family seasons. I'm currently going through Weeds because there's a reboot of Weeds coming. So I pick usually about 10 to 12 older shows to watch as well.
So you can kind of get caught up.
Yeah, and look, Mama's Family is a show I've seen, a lot of times as I was a kid. But, like I watched Everybody Loves Raymond not too long ago.
Yeah.
And I've seen those episodes probably 5 or 10 times. But there's something to be said also for watching things that give you comfort and, not only watching what's new.
Like, that's kind of what I've done. And it's sort of reactionary on my part is, see, my obviously, like most people, my channel is very much based on nostalgia. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm going back and talking about old movies that I like to rewatch again and again because I enjoy them so much.
Right.
And like, I kind of want to do similar stuff with shows. Like, I'm way behind on Venture Brothers. I'm going to check that out.
Right.
And I want to, like, possibly do some, like, episode guide podcasts on my favorite cartoons. Like, I love the Spider-Man animated series, and I just started rewatching that, and I'm like, I could rediscover that show again.
Sure.
No, I'm not going to be disappointed by it, and I could still get something out of it. And I'm like,
right.
That feels fine to me rather than trying to pursue a bunch of other shows that are coming out that I feel almost pressured to watch because it's hip and new.
Right.
So I don't know.
And for you, I mean, I think you are a more niche viewer than I am. I watch everything from
you watch so much
sitcom,
stuff.
drama, fantasy, sci-fi. I watch, I'm whatever, jack of all trades or whatever. But
yeah, maybe that's fine. Yeah,
but what frustrates me about it is
it's worse for you.
It's much worse for me. But when we were growing up, with those select few channels and then all the reruns of the old shows, everybody was on the same page. Everybody knew what I Dream of Jeannie was, or Cheers or MASH.
Yeah.
And we're so segmented now that I don't think there's so few shows that are common interest shows. Stranger Things is something that people can talk
all
about.
like about. Yeah. Rick and Morty, maybe.
Rick and Morty maybe is one as well.
It's pretty universal. Game of Thrones was pretty
Game
loved
of Thrones
by
was very universal. If you're more adult and you want a water cooler show at work, This Is Us probably gets about 15 million viewers.
Some people
and
watch
it's a hot
that
show.
Yeah.
But when we were kids, everybody knew every show.
I guess maybe that's
there's I watched a show called Sex Education today on Netflix. I watched the first 2 episodes of that. It stars what's his face from Hugo, the little kid, Hugo, Asa Butterfield.
Asa Butterfield,
and he was in not Ready Player One. What was the one? Ender's Game.
Ender's Game. I did like Ender's Game.
But it's that's a show that's already been renewed for season 3. I just started watching it, and I know 0 people that have watched this show.
But someone's watching it.
Yeah, it's getting a 3rd season, so people are watching it. It's so fragmented now, though, that it is very hard to keep up with.
Well, I mean, the thing that interests me about that is obviously, I think movies, TV show, media, I mean, it's just another way for people to kind of make small talk and then connect and bond, and
right.
That's what it's about. So, do you think there's kind of a weird problem being fragmented?
Yes,
because there's
no such thing really as a water cooler show anymore.
Did you catch that episode of that? And it's small talk. It starts with other things, but it's just, you're right. It's harder. You have to almost oh man, he watched this show. I want to be able to talk about it, and I feel kind of this is gonna sound silly. I sometimes feel bad, I want to participate, but I'm I'm behind already. I just caught up with the boys.
That's the problem with some of the shows, that it used to be you could watch an episode of something and it wasn't serialized.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, I missed last week, but that's fine. I'll catch it next week or whatever. And I think that's why, and don't laugh at this, but I think that's why something like The Masked Singer does kind of catch on, because people don't have to. If you've never seen The Masked Singer before, you could watch the show that was on earlier tonight and just be like, oh, yeah, well, this person sounded like this, and oh, those clues were giving me that, even if you've never seen an episode before. And I think that actually, sadly, kind of helps people talk about something.
You don't have to be that invested in everything.
And me, I am so far behind on my shows. I'm still catching up on a lot of last season's episodes of shows because there's so much out there,
All right.
So even a show that I do watch, if somebody came up to me and was like, oh, hey, do you watch, I don't know, The Good Fight or something, or
you do.
I do, but guess what?
What?
Not the current season.
No?
I'm a year behind.
Oh.
So it's you could, same with This Is Us. I love This Is Us, but I'm about 8 months behind.
All right.
So, yeah, it gets to the point, because it's so accessible, you can always say, oh, well, I'll binge it when the season's over, or I'll watch it whenever. And it does take away that talkability factor.
I mean, it's kind of impressive you're able to watch as much as you can, because I want to go back and do some. I just want to go back and nostalgic. I mean, it kind of reminds me of when I was kind of bigger on the anime community and YouTube, talking to people and just consuming all these shows. There was, whenever new stuff came out, seasonally, or I guess just in general if you're watching a show, in the anime community specifically, there was sort of this philosophy that people had, that they kind of debated about
okay.
How many episodes do you give a show before you drop it?
Ooh, that's a great question.
And I found that more with anime fans than any other medium, which I'm not sure why that is. I think it's because they were so much pumped out. But for instance, if I tried to apply that to other shows, I wanted to ask you about that, because I know you don't. Sometimes you say I'm going to drop it, and for you that's.
I actually just dropped one today.
Okay, and I'm going to follow up with that.
Okay.
How would you determine that for Dan? And what does Dan have to do to say, I'm going to not go? How many episodes you give it? What are you looking for? Because, say, for instance, though, this is the crazy thing. If I had been watching it back in 1987, maybe I'd watch that first episode, couple episodes of Star Trek Next Generation, and I might have not.
You might have dropped it.
And if everyone had dropped it, we wouldn't have gotten all that great TV
I agree.
after a rough season or two.
Yes, if that came on today,
wouldn't make it.
As a new, it wouldn't make it.
Probably not.
I agree.
I agree.
But there was no sci-fi on at the time, so
different time.
The fans had to go for it. Yeah, I agree.
Now, where Star Trek tries to pump out 4 different shows to keep itself relevant.
Well, now it's a little bit extreme, but yeah.
Yeah.
So is your question, how do I determine?
Yeah.
When I drop something? So, it depends on the genre for one thing.
Okay.
If it's a sitcom, it's got to be funny within the first episode or 2, or I'm out.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't give it like 3 or 4?
No, because I watch a lot of comedy shows.
I know.
And it's nice because, minus commercials, they're 22 minutes, 21 minutes these days. Mm-hmm. So, it's palatable. You can watch 3 episodes in an hour, basically. But, for dramas, it's a little trickier. But I have to care about what happens to the characters. If I'm about 4 episodes in and I don't care what's happening, I don't care what happens to the characters, I give up on it. If it's a show like Prodigal Son, or one of these shows where it's like it's very serialized, it's very either sci-fi or fantasy, or it's like a 10-episode miniseries type thing that's dramatic, I have to be able to follow along. Uh-huh. If the second episode's over and I don't know what's going on,
you're done.
I'm done. So the show I dropped today actually is one you've heard of because it's based on a movie.
Okay.
I'm trying to catch up on some of my Netflix shows, so I tried out a couple, and I enjoyed the sex education show I watched, but I started season 3 today of Dear White People, and
you're done.
After I might have gotten through the first 2 episodes, but maybe just the first one, and it was okay. The first two seasons were okay, but it's way too preachy. It was a little annoying, and it wasn't very funny. So I said, you know what, I'm done. There's too much.
I really liked the movie though.
Yeah, the movie was good, and the first season was good. The second season was a little iffy. You'll appreciate this. I started season 3 of Glow today.
Oh, I love. Oh, you know what? That's all right. All right. That's probably the most. I mean,
Gina Davis came on.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're on season 2, aren't you?
Season 3.
Season 3. Oh, great.
Yeah.
No,
in Vegas.
Glow might be my favorite show on.
Glow is a great show.
I love Glow, which is one of those things that I wouldn't have thought I would have liked it so much.
Yeah, what made you watch it? Because it is something that is a little bit
out of my
off of your brand.
Well, I like
Alison Brie.
I like Alison Brie,
yeah, okay.
which I remember you didn't like her that much.
I didn't like her on Community.
I liked her in Community.
I really didn't.
And Mad Men. You didn't see her in Mad Men.
Dramatic. I've never seen Mad Men.
But I liked Alison Brie. I always kind of have, and I think it's because the historical aspect of it, the feminist aspect, and also just the idea of like media and that time, the 80s stuff.
Just sort of intrigued you?
Well, okay, what the real answer is this, Dan, is that I never really cared about wrestling. I never gave a crap about it. I always used to kind of look down at wrestling and people that were into wrestling. I never got it. I was like, even as a kid, I'm like, wrestling?
I came from a wrestling household.
Okay.
Both of my brothers, specifically my older brother, into wrestling.
And a lot of people my age will be like, oh man, wrestling. Oh, I remember it used to be so great. And like, I follow, and like, it's a whole thing. And I'm like, and I'm always like, I don't get it. It's fake. It's not real. Like, why do you care so much? And then I just started, I saw like a random video or two just really detailing like the narrative and the culture, and then it kind of clicked for me. Wrestling is just a form of theater. It's performance, and it's stunts and movies like The Wrestler, and I like what these guys go through.
Well, and they call it, like a male soap opera.
Yeah, it's storylines.
So you're saying, oh, it's fake. Why would you watch it?
And I'm like, but they've got superheroes and supervillains and love it. It's comic books, but in a ring.
Right.
And I'm like, oh. And then it just made me like kind of have this weird. I'm sort of intrigued, and I'm like, well,
Okay.
this is kind of obviously not wrestling, but this is women trying to elevate themselves and be a thing based on something that happened
Yeah.
that was popular and a cool cast. And I started to watch it, and I liked the fact it was about this woman trying to be an actress, and this was kind of her way in, but
Is
she
it
made
4 a.m.? Yeah.
the best of it she could. And I also
Mark
really
Maron's great.
like the director.
Yeah.
That character I think a lot because what does he do? He makes cheesy horror and sci-fi movies, and I'm like, that's kind of like my dream.
Yeah, I was gonna
Is
say,
to be this
who does
guy.
that speak to?
This speaks to me, and I'm like, and that he's like, to get respect, he's got to direct a wrestling show. So
Right.
just the characters and I just think it's a brilliant show.
Yeah, it really is, and so I'm glad we got to actually talk about it. Yeah,
I love
so
Glow,
I
man.
turned that on today for season 3, and that's one I'll certainly be sticking with. But yeah, that's sort of, I just get a gut feeling, and I'm like, okay, I'm done with this now.
Okay.
And I have regretted it twice and gone back and restarted the show.
Okay.
Once actually was Madam Secretary with classic Lilith.
I like that show.
And I like Tia Leone.
Yeah.
But it was the first season was like, obviously, it's a political show, it's a political drama, and I wasn't following enough along with everything that was happening. So I just, after like 5 episodes, I was just like, I'm gonna give up on this. But I kept kind of thinking about the characters, and then it kept getting renewed. And a lot of times, also, if I know that a season is only on one season, even if it's just sort of like okay, I'll usually finish it out.
Okay.
Just because I'm like, okay, I know I don't have to go all in on this show.
Dan,
So what?
I have a request.
Oh, what? Don't say Home Improvement.
No, it's not Home Improvement.
No more Home Improvement videos.
One of the worst shows I ever saw.
Okay.
It only had one season.
I love bad shows.
It was years ago.
I actually want to do a feature on my channel about one season shows because there's a lot that I love.
This is one you won't love.
Okay.
I don't know.
Lone Gunman.
No,
because that show stinks.
No, I don't think I saw a whole episode.
That was a half season, I think.
Oh, 6
episodes. I think maybe 10 episodes.
Made it. It was, I forget. I think it was like 2010 or 2011.
Okay.
And I forget why. A bunch of friends came over and we just were up late, watched like most of this show because it looked so stupid.
Okay.
It was a superhero show.
Oh God. All right.
Called The Cape.
The Cape. Was that on CBS?
Or something. And can you guess what his superpower was?
He had a cape.
And he used his cape to fight people.
I'll look it up right now.
It was so...
He fought people with the cape itself.
Yes, he got tangled in some cape.
All right. The Cape Show. Let's see what it says.
It was so bad, man. Oh, my goodness.
2011.
Yeah, I knew it.
You're right.
What's the...
It was on NBC. I knew it was on a major network because I've heard of it.
It was...
Oh, you think it lasted a season?
Did it not get on?
First episode date, January 9th. Final episode, March 11th, same year.
Maybe they released the other ones on...
It looks like I can watch it on NBC's app for free.
Well, that's about as much
I'm
as
watching
you pay
it.
for it. It was pretty bad.
I'm going to watch it for you. It was 10 episodes.
It was bad.
Okay.
It was hilariously
Was anybody
bad.
in it that I know?
I
What's
think
in the cast?
I think there were some guest stars that like supporting cast was decent.
Well, Keith David, Keith David, I know him.
James Frayne, I think's the person.
All right, these people. Oh, Maynard Savari.
That dude.
Oh yeah, he's been in stuff. All right, so this looks horrible.
It's really bad, man.
All right, well,
and I watched, and I'm pretty sure I had some beverages when I was watching.
Only 9 aired. 10 episodes. They made 10. Only 9 of them made it to air.
It's one of the worst TV shows I've ever seen.
I really do want to do an exploration of one season shows, because I love a lot of them. Yeah.
Well, when we wrap up with
funny.
when we wrap up with Frasier Friday, what is the next show we're going to tackle? I haven't thought about that.
I
OC?
mean, the OC is definitely an option.
I don't know if we're going to get the whole thing. I might.
You might duck out. Huh?
I might give you a season or two to. I don't know. We'll see.
Wire Wednesdays is always on the table.
Wire Wednesday. Oh, we do got to do the
Wire
schedule.
Wednesday.
We create the schedule. What was it?
The schedule was
Summerdale Sunday.
Summerdale Sunday. Mulder Monday.
Was it Trek Tuesday? Was it Trek Thursday? Or was it Star Trek Sun?
I don't remember what Tuesday was. Was it Trek? Trek Tuesday?
I thought I got Trek in there somewhere.
Wire Wednesday for sure.
For sure. Thursday was
We
hard.
can never remember Thursday. I think it was 30 Rock Thursday, but you seem to disagree.
That wasn't the first one, but I'm fine with it if it is 30 Rock Thursday.
And then there's a show I just went through about a year ago. Classic.
Oh, that's one of my favorite sitcoms.
And then Friday was Frasier Friday, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday, was it Sex and the City Saturday?
Sure.
I think that was one of them.
Which I still have the first season I got to watch.
Yes, you're right. Much like I have your He-Man. Masters of the Universe.
Please don't lose that, because that is like one of the
few. That's a collector's item, right?
Oh yeah, man. Which is funny because pretty much all of those episodes are available for free on YouTube anyway. But like, I just like the.
That's all right.
Oh, you know what? All right.
Tell me.
Something TV related. I'm super hyped for.
Okay.
The Kevin Smith He-Man Netflix show.
Yes, I talked about that a few weeks ago in my news and reviews.
Dude.
That will be very interesting.
Do you know who the cast is? I just found out about
No, I haven't heard about the cast.
I'm going to talk about this because this is like the show I'm really... I'm a big He-Man fan.
The biggest I've ever met, for sure.
He-Man Revelations. So
yeah.
And Kevin Smith's probably all about it.
He doesn't mess around.
He doesn't with his stuff. It's probably going to be like really awesome. And you know who's voicing Skeletor?
I don't.
Mark Hamill.
No. Was just talking about him the other day about Child's Play, actually.
Good job in Child's Play.
He had so much fun as Chucky. He really made that movie a lot of fun.
And his voice was not the Joker voice. It was something different.
Yeah, completely different.
He is a different character.
The guy is a good, solid, dependable voice actor.
I'll never forget
he's like a Hank Azaria.
Well, he grew up. It's funny because he's so iconically known for Luke Skywalker, but his dream was to do voices for cartoons because that's what he grew up watching was Bugs Bunny and stuff.
Okay, sure.
And he wanted to learn about how they did that, and that's mostly what he does. And he's great.
I mean that's his real career these days. He shows up sometimes in the sequel movies of Star Wars.
Oh, but he's made his living.
He's made his living last 25, 30 years with that. Yeah.
I'll never forget because I don't know, you didn't watch much Avatar, but he played the
blue people.
The Last Airbender show. Last Airbender.
I hate that movie,
not the blue.
Avatar.
Fuck Avatar.
Well, either movie I hate. The Blue People or The Last Airbender.
Which one do you hate more? Honestly. You really
don't. The Last Airbender is certainly a worse movie.
But it's kind of hilarious, though.
But Avatar...
You hate Avatar.
I would watch that again over watching Avatar again.
Because it's so overhyped?
Avatar is so overhyped.
Boring?
It's boring.
12 movies in development.
Right. What are we making? 5 sequels?
What story is this?
Why don't you just throw money down the toilet?
I guess he's funding a lot of...
Just don't make me go off on Avatar.
That could be another podcast.
Yeah.
But that...
But anyway, so Mark Hamill voiced something in The Last Airbender.
He voiced the Fire Lord, the main villain.
Oh, okay.
And the first time I watched it, I had no idea because his voice was so radically different.
Yeah.
I was like, that's Mark Hamill? No way. So he's got it, man.
He really does.
But,
yeah, he's great.
But I think Lena Headey and a bunch of Game of Thrones people are in it.
Okay.
And Sarah Michelle Gellar is going to play Teela.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So I'm like...
Love her.
Kevin
Smith
hasn't
done much in a while.
I like her. I kind of wish she had a... does she need a... I mean, I don't know how big Buffy is.
I think she decided once she started having kids
that
she didn't really need to do anything. I mean, she gets, I'm sure, so many residuals from Buffy.
Action figures and stuff.
And, she'll show up here or there. She was actually on that Robin Williams show.
Yeah.
On CBS, Crazy Ones. But that was the last time I remember her doing something like regular.
Well, she'll be in this miniseries.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I just think because of Kevin Smith and that voice cast, I mean, like, I'm already
Can't
sold.
go wrong.
I'm sold on it. Because he's passionate about all that stuff.
Always, yeah.
And I liked his stuff on The Flash, and I think he did some other stuff, too.
He's done a bunch of stuff with the CW and the Arrowverse.
And I think he
stuff.
directed. I think he did some Marvel stuff too, but I can't remember what. Some
that wouldn't
cartoon
surprise
stuff.
me with Stan Lee's friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true. But well,
we're right at an hour.
We're at an hour. Do you want to talk about some quotable lines? When you think about all right, I had this idea. This was actually the initial idea for the podcast, which
an hour in, we're finally getting to it.
So I guess it's a good way to kind of do the last segment.
Always happens.
Instead of just saying our favorite movies, I think maybe it's kind of connected, but what do you think the most quotable movies are? Like, what do you kind of quote to yourself or other people just by happenstance? Half the time when we talk, we just randomly
So for
quote
me
reference other
personally,
things.
or you think in general?
Both. I mean,
Because
play
there's
with it.
certainly some movies I don't like that I think get quoted often.
Well, okay. If you think the quotes are deserving, like if you think they're maybe the quote can almost outdo the film in a way. Like it almost goes beyond it. Like it's so embedded
Well,
in pop
let me tell
culture.
you the one I'm thinking of specifically.
Okay.
That I think is, it's for me a very overrated movie. I think you agree with that sentiment.
Okay.
But there's a couple of quotes, at least two, maybe more, that if you said to anybody over the age of like 15, they would know it.
Okay.
And that is Forrest Gump. Between Life is Like a Box of Chocolates and Run, Forrest, Run.
All right.
That is an extremely quotable movie, but I don't think it's a good movie necessarily.
This is interesting
You
because
know?
you bring up that is interesting because I love.
Because wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I
That's
do
a very
agree.
quoted movie.
And I love to quote movies that I like that I think are quotable, but Forrest Gump, I do think about it and I even can use it and I'm fine with the quotes. I even like the quotes, but I, as you know, think I don't.
It's one of the worst movies out
All right,
there.
that's. I think the first time we talked about it, I must have said that, but like I don't think it's just I don't have this great love for it.
No.
And I mean, do people remember it because of that and gravitate to the quotes, or is it just those quotes stick out because those scenes were well delivered and because like
I don't know. I think it's
weird.
I mean, it was so ubiquitous at the time. It was everywhere, and all over the TV was the advertisements, and everyone went to see it.
All right.
And da 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 da.
Related to that Oscar year, Forrest Gump more quotable. Do you think Pulp Fiction is more quotable? I don't think so. I like Pulp Fiction a lot, obviously, but I don't know if I'd say that one Samuel L. Jackson line's too long. I don't remember that.
You can
say my name is Laura.
Here's the thing: you can say a Pulp Fiction quote to any Tarantino fan, and they'll know it.
Yes.
But any person, like when I think of movies that are quotable, not just for me personally, but out there in the world. Because I mean, obviously, everybody has like family movies. Like I could quote, me and my brother quote the first Police Academy all the time.
Okay, it's kind of inside.
Though. But if I said to you, what do you know? The damn thing fits. You would not. You would be like, "What are you talking about?"
And I've seen Police Academy. I don't remember that.
But
it's a good movie, though.
So when I think of like the most quotable movies of all time, I'm thinking of movies that I think are more universal. And in that vein, I think Forrest Gump is extremely quotable, more so than Pulp Fiction.
Definitely.
But if I said to you, check out the
All right.
big brain on Brad, you would know exactly what that meant.
So it's almost more personal.
Well,
all right. How about this? Okay, so we can say
because you and I certainly have. Coming to America, Pulp Fiction. There's a handful of movies that you and I could quote to each other
that we get
that would know exactly what that meant.
Because we're more movie buffs, though. So, what about like so some movies are more quotable just in general.
Yeah.
But maybe what about the quality of the quotes? Because of that more inside connection. Like for instance, like you said, between fandoms, like would it mean more if it's like. Or maybe not. Like if the movie's so quotable it transcends that, maybe that's more universal. So because I think oftentimes when you're talking about popularity of anything, there's this idea that either universal because everyone can kind of get it, it's can reach more audiences, so it's better somehow, but not necessarily.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know.
I think a lot of factors go into it.
Okay. Well, you've never seen The Godfather. But you made
an
offer I couldn't refuse.
Make an offer I couldn't refuse. Everybody knows that. Look at Goodfellas. I haven't seen Goodfellas in almost 30 years. I saw it when it first came out on VHS tape. We rented it. It was probably 1991 or 2.
Ever since I was a kid, I always
wanted to be a gangster. Since I was a kid, I wanted to be a gangster. Am I a clown? Do I make you laugh?
Funny how?
Those are...
Go get your shine box.
Go get your shine box. Now, I know that mostly from Jon Stewart repeating it over and over and over again on
Great
Daily
Dennis
Show.
Farina.
But, those are 3 quotes from a movie that I haven't seen in nearly 30 years.
Get your effing shine
But
box.
I know what movie that's from. Okay, how about Jerry Maguire? because you've got show me the money. You had me at hello.
I love black people.
You complete me. I love black people. Now that's a you and me quote though.
That one.
I love black people.
That's an iconic scene.
Not compared to those other. Okay, hold on. Now
I love black people.
Now we're both white, of course.
Yes, sorry,
but
we are white.
If you went into a place,
where
you didn't know anybody,
and
you're going to quote Jerry Maguire, you're not going to say I love black people.
Obviously, it's racially charged. I'm not going to say.
Your quote is going to be "Show me the money."
Show me the money.
Right? Or you had me
actually,
or you complete me. Like those are three.
All right, this will be fun. This is
I love black people.
This is
a great
this
line,
is where
the fish is coming with me.
This is where this is.
That's a classic.
This is where
line.
This is gonna go.
Okay.
We should start guessing each other's favorite quotes. Can you guess my favorite quotable line from Jerry Maguire?
From Jerry Maguire, I love black people. I would think.
It's my second favorite.
Is it about the jazz when he
when
the babysitter?
It's because
okay.
It's the scene.
Oh, the human head weighs 8 pounds or whatever?
No.
Okay. It's another great quote, though.
This is another great quote. It's when he's in the bathroom. Help me.
Oh, help me help you.
Help you.
Yes. Listen.
But it's because Cuba just gets laughing.
Cuba hates it.
Going
Cuba
insane.
just laughs right in his face.
Because Jerry Maguire's Tom Cruise is about to go insane.
Yeah. Help me. Help me help you. That's another. Listen. Now we've listed at least 6 or 7 real deal quotes from that movie.
Okay, so that's 6 for Jerry, and I wouldn't think of Jerry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire is a very quotable movie. What about The Wizard of Oz? A movie that everyone's seen.
That's super. That might be the most quotable.
That might be the most quotable because everybody's seen it.
Mm-hmm. Very good one.
All right, well, you've never seen Gone with the Wind.
But I know a bunch of the quotes.
I've never seen Gone with the Wind in full. But yes, you know a bunch of the quotes.
God's Witness, Never Go Hungry Again, Franklin, My Dear, Don't Give a Damn.
Right.
Yeah, I know a couple.
So, I think there's a difference between quotability for localized, you and I can quote a lot of things to each other that maybe other people wouldn't get.
They wouldn't get that.
Me and my brother, or probably you and your sister as well. Movies you grew up with.
I guess that is more of the fun interplay between people that is more personal. That's true. Like, okay, I'll give you 2 examples. Among my friends, I think that, not my friends, but like my YouTube friends particularly,
okay.
We reviewed anime and stuff. I feel like with a specific group of those people, we're all fans of RoboCop. So sometimes we would hang out on Skype and we just randomly can you fly, Bobby?
Okay.
It's like, you burned the effing money. Or Dead or Alive,
classic Dead or Alive, Come With Me.
Think It Over, Creep. Just a bunch of them. I buy that for $1. I am now authorized to use physical force. So many.
Okay. Here's a quote that is from a movie that many, many people saw. It was probably one of the top movies the year it came out. Me and my brother will quote this all the time, and I bet you will know what it is. Will everybody? I don't know. But to me, this is a quotable movie.
All right, I hope I know what it is.
And I think you'll agree.
Okay.
Man, I got 5 mouths to feed. Or I got 5 kids at home.
I got 5. Oh.
Total Recall.
See, but I think a lot of people would see Total. All right, but
the quote from Total Recall is "Get your ass to Mars."
That's what it says. Get your ass to Mars.
Right. But to me and my brothers, it's not.
I thought you had so many kids.
Yeah. And he catches him in the line.
Isn't that like your favorite Schwarzenegger movie?
It was at the time. I don't think it is anymore.
Was that like Terminator 2?
T2 is the best Schwarzenegger movie for
T2
sure.
is such a... Oh, that's going to be a Jello's movies. For sure.
Yeah, I can't think of a better one than that. Well, Kindergarten Cop was very quotable.
Kindergarten Cop...
it's not a tumor.
Most Schwarzenegger
Who is your daddy and what does he do?
Shut up.
So and like you said with your anime group, it's like you could quote a bunch of RoboCop things, and unless you're saying Dead or Alive, You're Coming With Me, I would have no idea.
That's the one you remember the most?
Yeah. Well, I think that's the most famous line, probably.
What about Murphy, It's You?
No. Not keep in mind, I've only seen RoboCop one time.
I get I just see it one time, but you're right. But that's right. Dead or Alive, You're Coming With Me is the line. But okay, how would you say? I feel like that RoboCop is definitely very quotable in some circles, but I don't think it's quite to that level.
It's not universal.
No, definitely not universal.
I mean, Titanic has some classic ones that are universal. King of the World and whatnot. But I mean, you know, you or I could say a quote from Titanic that is much
more
more obscure, but we would both get it, you
That's
know,
true.
because that's a movie that we've shared.
Well, sometimes a quote is like a general thing. Like, for instance, and you'll appreciate the example. You mentioned my sister. One movie we used to quote that we used to watch that wasn't really a quote of the movie. It was just Speed, the opening, because the
Oh,
soundtrack.
okay.
We'd always know what you're talking about, like dun 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 dun. That's the Speed sound.
That's the quote.
And I'd be like driving really slowly. Oh, I'm at Speed, and she'd be like, "That's so stupid." You know, that was a funny.
Right.
Memory.
Okay.
Dun dun dun. You know. So by the way, Speed. Great movie. Great,
it's not bad.
Great.
Referenced in Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
Really?
Yes.
All right, that's
as is
right
the
there.
Naked Gun.
Also great.
Which listen.
That's
me and my
quotable.
family could quote the Naked Gun till the cows come home. Any line of that movie.
Related to music, though, you and I,
Okay.
this is definitely inside.
Tell me.
With Sugar Man, the bass line.
You're right.
No one's gonna
Yes,
get that.
you're
but,
right.
But maybe other people
You're right.
would hit with that moment.
Okay, I'll tell you what a quotable instrumental piece is.
Ooh, quotable instrumental piece.
Maybe the most quotable for our generation. Obviously, the Star Wars one is up there.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
But if I said to you,
Dun, dun, dun.
da, 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 right? Everybody
right.
knows that.
That musical cue is.
Everybody knows that that's Jurassic Park, and that's a very quotable movie too.
Oh,
you know,
Jurassic
Clever
Park.
Girl,
Oh.
whatever.
Jurassic Park.
We never stop to think
Son
if
of a
we
bitch,
should.
you did it. You know. Now you're packing it. Now you're selling it.
That's a big pile of ass. I mean, that's a quotable movie, but that's a movie that everybody's. I don't know. Like Toy Story has a lot of quotes.
That's a really big
You
one.
know?
Toy Story's pretty universal.
Boy, yeah, I don't know. I mean, so what do you think? What do you think the most quotable movie of all time is? It's got to be Wizard
I was
of
going
Oz,
to say it's
right?
probably Wizard of Oz
because
that's
everyone has seen it, and it's been. I mean, every generation. Like
I'll get you
Toy
too,
Story,
pretty little dog.
old
too.
people might not get a Toy Story quote.
But like everybody.
Anybody under 40 or 50 would, but like Wizard of Oz is like. I mean, everybody has seen that movie.
I want to say, I think Wizard of Oz, maybe for the amount of quotable lines, but you know what?
Tell me.
Star Wars, those films probably really rival with so many quotes.
That's true.
The Force be with you always. What could be more pop culture evident than even that? Like
yeah, May the Force be with you is
Obi-Wan Kenobi,
easily
my only hope.
one of the one of the
use
top
the Force,
lines.
Luke.
Yeah,
I'm your father.
Even I'm your father. Even though people always get it wrong.
They always get it wrong. Most misquoted movies. I almost did it.
That's another one.
Most misquoted things.
Misquoted movie. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think the Star Wars movies might rival.
Star
Wizard
Wars
of Oz.
is pretty close. Are there any like old Disney movies that are heavily quoted? Probably not. I guess. Certainly not to the point of Wizard of Oz.
To that level, I don't think. Actually, I don't.
They're more known, I guess, for probably their songs than the quotes.
Just sort of counts,
which makes sense.
I'm just trying to think. Well, Lion King is pretty up there, I think.
Yeah, Lion King's probably up there.
But
again, that's a lot of music.
I'm just trying to think of lines from Lion King. Now I'm like, crap.
I mean, Toy Story, you've got To Infinity and Beyond. You are not a toy.
You are not a flying toy.
Not a flying toy. Yeah, I mean, I feel like there's a lot of quotes there. It has to be Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think
the
of
sheer volume of quotes
that rivals that. I don't think so.
But it's funny because when you first said, because we got on this topic off air by quoting Coming to America, and usually when I think of quotable movies, I do think of like funny lines, but those are more, I think, shared with the people you saw the movie with.
And that's where the joke comes from, and the quotes you appreciate.
Almost nothing we've talked about, other than Kindergarten Cop, is like a comedy movie.
No.
We've done a lot of action movies, some dramas, some kids movies.
The comedy ones are generally as quotable. That's weird. There's some like.
Well, I think comedy movies are mainly quoted unless you saw it with the person from the commercials, like from the which kids don't watch commercials anymore.
No.
So how would they know what's a quotable line?
I'm just trying to think of like a really quotable comedy line that's universal. That's
A quotable comedy line that's universal. Yeah, like
that's actually,
unless it's a movie you've seen with people, I can't think of too many.
maybe it's because comedy is so subjective that it's hard to find something that everyone
That
would find.
could be.
And also remember, think about it. I guess a quote, it's hard to make a quote funny unless there's like the punchline to go with it.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe. That's weird, but that's interesting. But then again, I mean, we could obviously quote like "Coming to America" or something, and
Yeah.
think it's funny.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, like my nephew and I were kind of riffing on a couple Jim Carrey quotes just because we saw Sonic. So we were
Smoking,
doing, like,
smoking's pretty big.
we were doing like what's the most annoying sound,
Those things sound in the world.
and that kind of thing. I did the Ace Ventura. Let me ask you a question.
Oh, maybe
but
this.
I mean that's not
right.
universal.
This is pretty inside.
Okay.
But it's not. I think it's probably closest one I can think of is that one I love is the one scene, the trivia scene in Billy Madison.
Oh, that's pretty good.
What you've said is the single dumbest most thing anyone has ever uttered. I award you no
we are all
points
dumber
for having ever said it.
like
I award you no points.
having
May
heard
God
it.
have mercy on your soul.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's pretty good.
That is like the best. But to be fair, that's all because of the build up to it beforehand. That really makes it stick.
Man, am I glad I called that guy is pretty classic from Billy Madison.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, like you're right. Usually there's a 1-2 punch.
The Price is Wrong, bitch is pretty.
That's pretty classic.
Everybody
from
likes
Happy,
that.
Yeah.
Sandler.
I don't know. I mean, Eddie Murphy's got to have. I mean, Beverly Hills Cop. I can't think of one like universally quoted line though.
I can't say it on air. But even that from 48 Hours,
stuff.
I've never seen so many backwards ass country apps in my life.
Yeah,
it's
true.
It's a pretty good one.
Yeah, I mean, I think in certain circles, like I quote the movie Kingpin all the time, but only to people that have seen Kingpin, you know. So I think maybe that's with comedy because I do feel like action movies or big dramas are more universal than comedy because it's so subjective. You're right. That's interesting. Star Wars probably is the only rival I would think to Wizard of Oz. But the other thing with Star Wars is there's so many different movies.
That's a bit unfair.
If you only take
the first
first one, I don't know if it would be.
There's a couple good ones.
Do or do not, there is no try.
That's Yoda.
But that's not from the first one, right?
Yeah, that might be cheating a little.
So...
But I guess it's just a film franchise, yeah.
Right.
Does Lord of the Rings have some pretty good ones?
I mean, My Precious or whatever, that's pretty
classic.
You
You Shall Not Pass is pretty...
Yeah, You Shall Not Pass.
Fly You Fools.
Second Breakfast is pretty good.
Second Breakfast? I don't think he knows about Second Breakfast, Pip. Yeah.
That was Lord of the Rings, right? Or was that The Hobbit?
No, that was right. No,
that was Lord of the Rings. Okay, all right. Yeah, there's some pretty quotable ones. I mean, I'm sure Pirates of the Caribbean maybe have some quotable
Why is the rum
ones.
always gone?
When I think, like, universally quoted, I mean, I think all-time classic. Like, I'm walking here.
Could have been a contender.
You had me at hello. I think that is pretty classic.
That is pretty good.
I Love Black People, your favorite.
That's up there. That should be up there.
For you and me, though.
I know. I think when people talk about the main Jerry Maguire quotes, that's on the list.
You think?
Because it's right there with Show Me the Money. It's in the same scene.
I guess.
You know I'm right.
No, I think The Human Head weighs 8 pounds is up there more than that even.
No
from that little kid.
No.
Everybody says that.
No. I Love Black People. It wins that one.
I've never heard anyone quote that except you.
Because they're afraid it's racist, but it's a great line. It's like, how is it?
He loves
black people. It's
The Fish is Coming With Me, I think, is even quoted more than I Love Black People. But I do love that line, and I love how he screams it.
That might be the delivery too.
Yeah, I mean, I would be interested to look at the because I know the AFI Film Institute did a top 100 quotes about 10 years ago, and there were like 3 Jerry Maguire quotes on there.
There were.
I think their number one was "Frankly, My Dear, I Don't Give a Damn."
I think that was.
Which makes sense.
All right, we'll just click on the first thing, which is the blog. Okay, no, we'll do AFI. We'll be a little more.
There you go, AFI. We'll do.
All right, so AFI. Let's see what what they decide.
Yeah, let's say.
From their
They're,
polls.
of course, a little more
A little
hoity-toity than us, and of course more classic.
So, and of course, yeah.
There you go. Right at number 52, you had me at hello, Jerry
Wow.
Maguire.
All right. Let's see. Dirty Harry. That's a good one.
Oh yeah. Do I feel lucky? Franklin, my dear, I don't give a damn. There you go.
Wizard
of Oz, number 4. Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore. Oh, here's Casablanca's classic. Oh yeah, there's League of Their Own. That's, I guess, kind of a comedy. There's no crying in baseball.
Anyhow, go ahead, make my day. Yeah, that's two Clint Eastwood.
Classic. Yeah, that's two classic Clint Eastwood.
But I think a lot of people know that line and don't know that it's from Sudden Impact, though.
Yeah, they would say it's from Clint Eastwood.
They
might say like Good,
Dirty
Bad,
Harry.
the Ugly, or
but they don't know where it's from.
Right.
Boy's best friend is his mother. Force be with you. You have The Godfather Part 2.
There you go. I know that one.
Keep your friends close, your enemies closer. About to be a bumpy night. Yep, that's Gone with the Wind again. You talking to me? Taxi Driver.
That's classic.
You talking to me?
Yep.
Let's see. Cool and Luke. Say hello to my little friend.
Oh, we forgot about that one. That's a classic.
Yeah.
What about Houston? We Have a Problem from Apollo 13. That's not up there yet.
That should be.
That's pretty classic.
Napalm in the Morning. Stuff.
E.T. Phone Home. That's good.
Graduate.
Hey, they call me Mr. Tibbs.
Seriously? They call me Mr. Bricks.
They called him Mr. Bricks in the one we saw.
Rosebud.
Forget that movie.
You know what?
Forget that movie.
I think Citizen Kane's a bit overrated.
I need to watch it because my parents hate it, so I've never seen it.
They
say it stinks. I don't know why everyone loves it.
It has great cinematography. The shots for the time are amazing.
So did Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Like, come on.
I don't like the character. I don't like the story. I thought it was boring.
He stinks.
I'm sorry. Take your paws off me, you damn dirty.
Yeah, that's a good one. Oh, Here's Johnny. That's a classic.
Mad as Hell. Let's take any more. Here's Johnny. Yep.
But see, I wouldn't have known that was from Network. See, I'm mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
But like, for instance, is it safe for Marathon Man? I think Marathon Man's a good movie. I don't remember that line.
No, it's
they're Bond, James Bond.
That's
pretty up there.
That's up there. Bond. James Bond.
That might be universal. Everybody knows that.
Very
line.
Universal.
That's
very universal.
That's a rival.
There's no place like home, another Oz.
No wire hangers. I didn't want to bring that up, but that's kind of
pretty classic.
That's pretty classic for the wrong reason. Show Me the Money.
Show Me the Money is the hottest from Jerry Maguire, number 25.
Forget it. Chase it town. Okay. It's Chinatown.
I don't see I Love Black People yet.
They're not gonna put that.
There you go. Hasta La Vista, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Arnold.
Oh, Soylent Green is people. Spoilers, by the way. Spoilers.
Yeah, really. Spoilers.
Why
That's the whole movie.
I hate that.
What?
Why is that the quote? You can't handle the truth.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a really big one.
Yep.
Of course, Open the Pod Bay Doors, Hal. There's a couple from Space Odyssey.
Yeah. Adrian. Yo, Adrian. That's classic.
Yo, Adrian. Yep.
I'll Have What She's Having. There's a comedy one.
Harry Met Sally.
Everybody knows what that is.
This Dracula one I don't agree with.
I was going to say, that's a
bold.
Bizarre one for Dracula.
How about I Am
Listen
Dracula?
to Them, Children of the Night, What Music They Make.
That's
in your top 100 quotes of all time?
From Dracula? How about
No, forget it.
I Am Dracula?
I don't even think it's in the top 100 Dracula quotes. Get out of here with that.
Bigger Boat.
Bigger Boat is classic. I'll Be Back. There's My Precious.
Oh, nice.
Attica.
Nobody cares about Dog Day
This is hoity-toity nonsense.
Yeah, that's just why I don't really agree
If You
with
Build
this.
It, He Will Come. That is a universal one.
That's a good movie.
Never saw it.
You've never seen
I've seen part of it. I never saw the whole thing.
Costner.
It's
like at his prime. Yeah.
There's Forrest Gump. Told you.
For a second, I thought this was the Golden Child.
If they quoted the Golden Child in their top 100, I would be very sad about that.
Yeah. A martini shaken, not stirred. I don't know. Bond's getting some.
Bond's getting a couple, yeah. Those are about it, though. All right, there's a comedy movie anybody could quote. Austin Powers. People quote those all the time.
Yeah, baby. That's pretty
Yeah,
universal.
baby. Shagadelic.
See Dead People is pretty.
I See Dead People is pretty good. There were a couple horror ones on here. Here's Johnny was a good one. I See Dead People.
Caddyshack.
All right, that quote is like
It's a long ass
It's like a
quote.
paragraph.
I don't think that's the best one to use.
No.
Caddyshack.
I Feel the Need for Speed. That's pretty classic.
Nobody's perfect.
Dead Poet Society.
Oh, Carpe Diem, yes.
Yeah.
Snap out of it. See, I've never seen Moonstruck, and I knew
but
that
you
one.
know that, yeah.
Snap out of it.
Yeah. Oh, there's
How
Houston,
does
We
he
Have a Problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nobody Puts Baby in a Corner. Yeah.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
There's the third Wizard of Oz one. I'll get you by pretty.
I'm king of the world. 100.
Okay, King of the World should be top 20.
Should King of the World be above like
AFI
Cinderella?
Should I'm the King of the World be listen to the children and the noises they make or whatever from Dracula?
I don't think this is the most accurate list because this is for films. Not like
this is for films.
Like I get it. Like Attica. A Dog Day Afternoon is a fantastic movie. Nobody knows what you're talking about. It's bull.
Yeah.
That's bull.
That's garbage.
Top 50 famous from some vlog. It's probably more fair. All right. May the Force be with you. This seems more normal.
This is more normal.
King of the World is 3, not 100.
This is a better one. Okay.
Okay. Carpe Diem. I like that one.
Yeah.
Elementary, My Dear Watson.
That's pretty classic.
Because Alive, It's Alive. That wasn't even on AFI.
It was, yeah.
Nice.
We
okay.
just glossed over it.
Forrest
Bigger
Gump.
Boat, Forrest Gump.
Yeah, this is more... Okay,
this is more normal.
Okay.
Houston is... We have a problem with number 12.
There's no crying in baseball.
You can't handle the truth.
Yeah, okay, I like this list better.
Okay.
Anti-Mame.
We watched Anti-Mame.
I forgot. It's a film for that.
It's a good movie, but...
Anti-Mame.
Life is a banquet and most poor suckers are starving to death. I mean, it's a funny line.
But I don't think it's universal.
Is it a universally quoted line? No.
Ooh, Snow White.
That's a good one. Magic Mirror on the Wall.
Who's the fish? Yeah. Yep, so I am your father.
Just Keep Swimming. That's a classic.
Just Keep Swimming.
Yeah. Oh, from The Help. You is kind. You is smart. You is important. That's
Aww.
Probably one you wouldn't have to see The Help to know what that's from. That was pretty quoted.
Yeah, it was pretty big.
Back in the day.
Yeah, but now, like almost 10 years
maybe
later.
Maybe not 10 years on.
Yeah,
you're talking to me. Roads, where we're going, we don't need roads.
We don't need roads.
Yeah, that's pretty classic.
That's a really quotable one. Back to the Future.
Yes, and a lot of people have seen it.
Nobody calls me chicken.
Yeah, enough to know that
McFly.
Yeah.
1.21.
I am Darth Vader from the planet Vulcan. That's
pretty great.
Pretty good. Yeah, just his laugh is quoted. What's a rerun?
Stella.
Yeah, Stella's good. As If from Clueless. That's pretty classic.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
There's Johnny Rosebud.
Princess Bride, even though I don't like it as a quotable movie.
Inconceivable. That's pretty great.
Yeah. Isn't that the one that says Mowage?
Princess Bride. Princess Bride's also pretty quotable.
Princess Bride is very quoted. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
As You Wish.
Yeah, that's got a lot of good lines. That's comedy, I guess.
Oh,
You're Killing Me, Smalls.
They may take our lives, but they'll never take.
That's pretty good.
Our freedom. The whole Braveheart.
Yeah, that's true.
Infinity Beyond, Kill Me Smalls. Yep. Toto. Yeah. Okay, that felt like
that's a more well-rounded list.
That's more believable.
Although the Anti-Mame,
I think
a little out there.
They threw them. They'd be like, yeah, we're not only picking like these popular things.
That was a little weird, but all right. Yeah, all right. So some quotable movies.
What was Anti-Mame even about? I forget.
She was their was she their housekeeper? Maybe somebody died.
I get that confused with All About Eve. I liked All About Eve.
All About Eve was pretty good. That was about the actress.
Yes.
That was a good movie.
I liked that one.
I'm not sure why we're quoting Auntie Mame in the 50 biggest quotes of all time.
What was the movie about the two lawyers? That was like from the 40s or something. Was it Hepburn in that? Was it Katharine Hepburn? What was
that was...
was Massey in that one again?
No, was it... no. Donald... whoever was in it. Hold on. Yeah. I can't remember what it was
courtroom
called.
Drama was pretty good.
Yeah, it was great, though.
I forget what it was.
I have it on the Hepburn Tracy collection, and I can't think of it. What the heck was it called? It must have started with the letter A, because we watched all the A's that year.
Something.
I don't remember.
There were some bad ones.
Got it. It was the sequel after The Thin Man.
That was after.
So we also watched The Thin Man, too, just to kind of balance it out. Wasn't that The Thin Man?
I thought The Thin Man was a detective.
No, maybe you're right.
Remember, Thin Man was the one with Jimmy Stewart was the bad guy.
Oh, you're right.
And we were like, "What? He was so creepy."
You're right. I don't remember the one where they were both lawyers now.
It wasn't. Yeah, he's pulling out the phone.
I gotta pull it out. Because now I really don't remember.
Like, for people that are curious about like the, sometimes I will go through and check out. One thing that would actually help me out if you have the time, Dan.
Oh God.
Is could you organize our Film Fanatics by season?
Adam's Rib.
That
was a classic.
Because like I when I go through
organize them by season, how? Like all the movies we watched?
No. Like just the videos.
Oh.
Because like when I want to go back and watch them sometimes and listen,
like in a playlist.
yeah, like because I'm like you don't have a playlist, so I just have to go through the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and it's like at least I could say, okay, well, this movie was in this year. I could narrow it down by that.
Okay.
That might be cool.
I actually should make a bunch of playlists about everything.
You especially now you probably could.
There's too many side shows on my channel. Yeah, you're right.
Bob?
Adam's Rib. That's one of the early ones.
That was.
Yeah.
Best one was Afterglow.
Yeah, that was an app.
Actually, I think my least favorite Oscar movie, and I don't remember what it was.
Okay.
Was the weird movie about the Prussian ballerina
God,
immigrant.
that was so boring.
That was the weird. That was just.
I think that started with B. That was towards the end of Film Fanatics.
That was bad.
Yeah, B for boring. I don't remember what that was called, but yeah.
It was just. I did not like it.
Yeah.
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 But Quotable.
Good cast.
Good cast.
As always.
I guess before we wrap it up, I wanted to ask you if you were going to watch one old cartoon with me and be my guest for an episode guide, maybe for something you haven't seen, what do you think you'd do?
An old cartoon.
Yeah, like say if I want to do one of my... I've been kicking around this idea of like going through some of my favorite like superhero cartoons I grew up with, like, for instance, Spider-Man the Animated Series. I'm like, I love that. I want to go through it.
Okay.
Like, are there any of those old ones you didn't get to watch that ever interested you? Like, I know you like some Batman.
I mean, most of them. I didn't watch a lot of superhero cartoons. I watched a lot of the 67 Spider-Man show because that aired before school when I was really little.
Electric Factory?
That was part of it. It was Electric Company, New Zoo Review, all my shows. But no, they ran the original Spider-Man like at 6 in the morning or something. I mean, the only ones I don't know if is He-Man count as a superhero?
Yes, He-Man would be on there.
Because I mean, I've certainly seen a lot of He-Man.
I'd be down to watch some He-Man with you sometime and comment on some episodes. That'd be fun.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad. Yeah, I mean, Batman the Animated was always good, but I've only seen probably a handful of those.
I think you'd probably enjoy that for like on your list.
Maybe X-Men 90s.
X-Men 90s is pretty good. Yeah,
I don't know.
I think you'd also probably get a kick out of Batman Beyond. Did you ever watch The Tick?
The live-action Tick with Patrick Warburton?
Before that, the 90s cartoon.
No, I didn't.
You might get a kick out of the Tick, actually. That's kind of up your alley. It's pretty funny. Kind of have its time. All right, here's...
How about The Critic?
You know...
I know you love that show.
I haven't watched much of it. I watched like...
I think I have the DVDs of it.
I liked him when he appeared on The Simpsons.
Yep.
And I liked him when he'd pop up on random things.
Yeah.
I watched the first episode, I think.
Okay.
And I liked it.
The guy said it stinks about everything. That was the gag.
It stinks. I think I wish The Critic had been on longer. It wasn't on.
Yeah, I think it was a year and a half.
Yeah.
That's when all the networks, after The Simpsons, that's when all the networks were like trying to put adult animated comedies on, and none of them stuck around. For more than like a year or two.
Then a couple years later, you would stick with South Park and Family Guy.
Right. But again, Fox and cable. NBC, CBS, ABC, they could never figure out the adult animation angle.
Huh. Well, they didn't have to, I guess.
No, they didn't. But if The Critic was on Fox, it would have done better. For sure.
Yeah. It's kind of cool. They often did a crossover between networks. Actually.
Yeah. Well, I think it was the same animation studio. So
that might have been what it was.
Yeah.
All right, Dan, here's the real question.
Okay.
Could I ever get you to review an anime with me?
In full?
It doesn't necessarily have to be one that's hundreds of episodes long.
I was going to say, you got Bleach, maybe?
That's probably a good 500 episodes.
I know.
Dude,
I don't know much about anime, but I know that.
Well, this is the one thing that's interesting to me is if you ever want to watch one of those long-form shows, there's these wonderful sites that tell you what's actually canon to the manga or not, so you can skip all the nonsense.
Okay.
And don't worry about being a completionist because a lot of it's BS.
I don't know. I mean, I've seen a couple good Dragon Ball things, maybe.
I think, you know what I actually would be curious to see what you'd think of. I'll never forget when I had you come over for like a Dragon Ball Z day one time and just throw on some random episodes and you're just...
Was I mad?
You were so like baffled and confused and amused all at once. Like,
well, the one episode we watched, He was in like a coma the whole episode, or
Yeah,
he was
Goku's in
taking
a coma
nap or something.
Like he will be.
So he like wasn't even in the show.
Well, that's one of the big tropes is Goku, because he's so powerful he can do anything. What do? You make him unconscious, or he's training, or he's trying to get there while everybody else is trying not to die until he gets there. It's most of the show.
Doesn't make any sense.
I just loved. I think the thing.
It's like when they made Deadpool not talk in that Wolverine movie.
Well, that's going against character.
Like, come on.
The way it works in these shows is the main hero. You have to build it up, and all the interesting stuff happens before he gets there.
All right.
Well,
that movie, the Broly movie, was terrible.
I kind of liked that one.
Yeah.
You liked the Frieza one more.
I gave it a C. I mean, because I guess some of the action scenes were cool, but no, I like the Frieza one way better.
Well, I think one thing I would be curious to see from your perspective would be if you would actually be interested in ever watching some of the original Dragon Ball when Goku was a kid.
Before it became Z.
And it was more of an adventure comedy show.
That I would like more.
Because it's not as over-the-top macho. That might be cool to see. Like, watch the first 13 episodes of Dragon Ball and get dancing for it. I would love it. Because...
All right, then here's what we should do. I'll make you a deal.
Uh-oh, you're going to get me to watch, what are you going to get me to watch?
One of my classic favorites. If we do some anime, yeah, I'll watch 13 episodes or whatever of an anime.
Okay. You're going to get me to watch 13 episodes of what?
What do you think?
Just trying to think.
No, it's going to be good. I think you'll like it.
What's something I never watch?
What do I talk about all the time, especially for some reason on your channel?
Not The Masked Singer.
No.
You talk about it all the time on my channel for some reason.
It came up earlier today, even.
What did we talk about? Just going to bug me. What?
The Good Wife.
I'd watch The Good Wife.
Yeah, I think you'd really like it.
Yeah, I'd watch The Good Wife.
It's a great show.
All right.
I'll turn you on to The Good Wife.
All right, well, Good Wife. Hey. Well, all right.
Actually, have you ever seen Freaks and Geeks?
No.
All right. I've turned so many people on to Freaks and Geeks.
Actually, all right.
That's what you should watch.
All right, look.
Freaks and Geeks is one of the greatest shows of all time.
There's a couple things we need to do.
Freaks and Geeks Fridays.
Ooh!
That's what comes up after Frasier Fridays.
All right.
Episode by episode reviews of Freaks and Geeks.
Freaks and Geeks I would watch.
Yeah.
I've always been interested in it. But I owe you something before Freaks and Geeks. I need to watch some Sex and the City.
Yeah, that's true.
I need to actually watch that season.
I do too. I've only seen those episodes, I think, twice through.
Okay.
I've only seen the Sex and the City twice in full.
Hey, you watch Sopranos. I should watch Sex and the City.
You're right.
You know what I actually would love to watch?
Good Wife.
I'll watch The Good Wife.
My show.
I would. You do really like The Good Wife.
I do.
Curb Your Enthusiasm.
You've not seen Curb?
No, I have seen some of it, but we could get ball watching that.
Yeah.
And also, I know.
Right. This is how every one of our casts devolves.
All right.
All right, tell me.
Okay, last topic, I promise.
Okay. How good is the wife? She's good.
But she's not the great wife, so she's got problems. She's the average one.
The average wife. The mediocre wife.
Okay. All right.
Malcolm in the Middle Mondays? Is that what you're thinking?
I'd be down
Malcolm Mondays. All right, what do you got?
All right. I've been enjoying doing Frasier.
Yeah, me too.
Doing the seasonal sitcom. And I've thought there aren't that many sitcoms that I like as much as Frasier.
Yeah, it's up there for sure.
But I know you're much more of a sitcom guy, but I feel like I gravitate to stuff that is just really good because, I don't know, I latched onto it. Seinfeld is probably
it's your number one.
Number one. You once mentioned you thought that it's been talked about too much, but I feel like there's nothing wrong with us doing season reviews of Seinfeld at some point. Or would that be too... Just because I feel like we probably could do it. I mean, maybe doing something like Third Rock from the Sun would be more interesting, but do you think Seinfeld's always off the table because it is just the show?
Well, I feel like Seinfeld is not only the show, but you would almost have to do... It's one of the few sitcoms where I think you would almost have to do...
Episode by episode.
Episode reviews.
All right.
You know?
Another cartoon I actually would request you to watch with me, the superhero. X-Men, Batman and He-Man may happen.
Okay.
But I know you're a Superman fan. I've been rewatching Superman the Animated Series.
Superman.
I think you get a kick out of that show.
And this is on currently? Superman animated series?
96.
Oh, okay. So it was around the Batman animated series.
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
The first sequel.
Oh, I think you showed me one of those.
Did I?
I think maybe.
Ooh. Okay. We did the serials.
Yeah.
We could watch those.
We did do the old serials.
We could watch the 50s show.
Which I have on DVD, all of them.
We could watch the 40s shorts.
And I have Lois and Clark on DVD, too.
Ooh, I'd love to watch Lois and Clark. That could be, if it's comic booky, but you like Superman.
Yeah, it's not bad. I love Superman. I have all of Smallville on DVD, too. You hate that show.
I didn't watch enough of it to give it a fair shake. I hated 2 episodes I saw.
We do have to do Ally McBeal reviews, too, though. I mean,
McBeal Mondays.
McBeal Mondays. Malcolm Mondays. After Malcolm Mondays is over.
It's going to be Mulder Malcolm.
All Fox shows, too.
Fox had some good
they had some good M shows.
Actually,
Married with Children.
That's another reason you got to watch X-Men and Spider-Man the Animated Series, because watch the episode and Jonah was like, "Oh man, you Spider-Man didn't commit the robbery, Brock. You made me look like a fool. All the networks are laughing at me, even Fox."
Is that what they say?
And of course, they're on because Fox always loves taking shots.
Oh, right, always the punchline for itself.
All right.
Okay.
We got to wrap it up. We got it.
I agree. I agree.
So I don't.
It's 3:30 in the morning when we're recording this here.
How have we accomplished any like? What are we actually going to do? I don't know.
I'm not sure about that. But I think you and I each got some insight into Birds of Prey and Sonic, respectively.
That was the main.
I think that was good.
Goal. It kind of evolved after that.
I think we learned a lot about TV viewing habits.
True.
And what is a quotable movie?
And what that means to you.
Yeah.
So anybody in the comments, if you listen this long, give us your thoughts on these topics.
God bless you.
For getting an hour.
Which Monday show do you want us to do? Question.
Do you want? All right. Seriously, if anybody listens, I'll probably put in the comments. Do you want us to go back to doing X-Files? Do you want Ally McBeal? Do you want Malcolm in the Middle?
Nobody wants Ally McBeal with me.
All right. No, I like Ally McBeal. I would watch Ally McBeal.
Me too.
So let us know. Seriously, I mean,
Malcolm in the Middle was a legit show.
It is that,
and I know you love Third Rock from the Sun. That would be fun too.
I would totally do Third Rock from the Sun.
That'd be a lot of fun.
No doubt. So
Third Rock Thursdays.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it. All right, everybody. Well, I will sign off now. Say bye, Dan.
See you later, guys.
Stay magical.